LSU targeting another five-star receiver for the class of 2025. We got the deets. It's Locked on LSU. Let's go.
You are Locked on LSU, your daily podcast on the LSU Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Okay, let's get it. It is Locked on LSU, your team every day. I'm your host, Matt Moscona. Thanks so much for being here with us. Thanks for making us your first listen every single day. We are free, available wherever you get great podcasts, of course, on YouTube as well. So please subscribe. If you're on YouTube, smash that like button, hit the bell so you're notified whenever we post a new video. LSU pitcher DJ Primeaux tearing it up in Cape Cod this summer. You'll hear our exclusive conversation with DJ Primeaux in just a smidge. But LSU this weekend, Friday in particular, hosting the Bayou Splash. Massive recruiting weekend for LSU with a handful of five stars and double-digit top 100 prospects in the country on LSU's campus. We fully expect that LSU is going to pop a few commits out of this weekend. We'll certainly have all of those details when Bayou Splash is done and the weekend is finished. But Friday and into this weekend brought even more recruiting news for Brian Kelly. As we learned from On3 and other sources that LSU has offered five-star wide receiver Jerome Miles out of Utah. Give you a few of the details here on Miles. He's 6'3", 215 pounds, and he is a guy that pretty much everyone in the country is after. He is from the state of Utah and is thought to be a pretty heavy Utah lean, although Ole Miss has gotten into the mix as well. And when you talk about a prospect of this caliber, a lot of teams are going to find interest. A&M, Michigan, Ohio State, all the big names are involved for Miles. And LSU throwing its hat in the ring late. Miami, Tennessee, Auburn, all there as well for Miles. He is a guy that is highly coveted, and is another big swing for Cortez Hankton, for Brian Kelly, for Joe Sloan, and for this LSU class of 2025. What's so interesting is not only the fact that LSU is taking their cuts at all the top receivers in the country, but they're taking their cuts at guys from all over the country. Keep in mind, LSU is a program we often talk about that really has to recruit the state of Louisiana. And you got to put the fence around. And if you're going to go outside of Louisiana, it's got to be for premier prospects. If you want to go to Michigan to recruit the number one player in the country in Bryce Underwood, by God, go do it. Say it all the time. You want to hop on a plane and go to Vegas to recruit a three-star cornerback? Not so much into that. You want to go to Utah to recruit Jerome Miles, a five-star wide receiver? Okay, similar boat to getting on a plane to go recruit five-star wide receiver Derek Motors, and you landed him. But keep in mind, listen to the list of receivers that LSU has recruited in this cycle. Of course, they had DeCorian Moore, the number one receiver in the country. These are composite numbers, by the way. They had DeCorian Moore committed. He flipped to Oregon. The number 3 receiver in the country is Khalil Lockett, and LSU has a hat on the table, although it's thought to be a Texas lean. The number 4 receiver in the country is Jamie French. Jamie French, who has family from Louisiana. His mom went to Southern. She's from the Felicianas. Jamie French on LSU's campus again this weekend, five-star wide receiver. The number 7 receiver in the country, Derek Meadows, got him committed. The number 10 receiver in the country is Miles, who we're talking about now, who you're in the mix for. The number 14 receiver in the country is C.J. Wiley out of Georgia, LSU legacy, who, of course, picked Florida State. And then the number 20 receiver in the country is Teron Francis out of Edna Carr in New Orleans, who you've got committed there as well. All that to say, I should say, that right now, this is a class where LSU has cast its net nationally, which is not something that you really see often with LSU because you don't have to. You recruit the state of Louisiana, and then you recruit East Texas and the Atlanta area. And if there's a prospect out of Florida or Mississippi you want to get, you go take your swing. But right now, this is pretty incredible. Of the 18 commitments, you've got 8 from Louisiana, 3 from Florida, 2 from Texas. That plays, right? Arkansas, Indiana, Michigan, Mississippi, and Nevada all represent in this class as well. And maybe even more impressive than that, Bryce Underwood, number 1 player in Michigan. DJ Pickett, number 1 player in Florida. Derek Meadows, number 1 player in Nevada. Damian Shanklin, number 1 player in Indiana. Carius Kern, number 1 player in Arkansas. And, of course, Harlan Berry, the number 1 player in Louisiana. That means 6 of your 18 commitments are the number 1 player in their state. I keep saying this about this 2025 class, but it is quality over quantity. It's the highest rating per commit average of any class in America right now. And oh, by the way, the quantity keeps climbing as well, as at this point of this recording, you're at 18. And after Bayou Splash, I think that's going to grow a bit. Now, specifically about Miles, the 5-star out of Utah, 6'3", 215. We'll see ultimately what his decision might be. Tigers, as we mentioned, in the mix for Jamie French as well. And they can't be done. This is a receiver room that is going to lose after the season Kyron Lacey and Chris Hilton and very likely C.J. Daniels and Xavion Thomas and possibly Aaron Anderson, and you never know about transfers. So you are going to have to fortify this receiver room this offseason, both with high school recruiting and with the transfer portal, because you can't have a bunch of receivers that haven't played and aren't accomplished going into the 2025 season. Now, Brian Kelly and the staff will cross that bridge with the transfer portal after this season when you see what type of attrition you have. But you got to stockpile, as Brian Kelly always has said. He wants to build through the high school ranks, develop, and then supplement with the transfer portal. Going big in this class at receiver is a good indicator of that. You've already got the number 7 receiver, Derek Meadows, committed. You've got the number 20 receiver, Teron Francis, committed. And you've got a hat on the table for Khalil Lockett, for Jamie French, and now for Jerome Miles. It's 3 of the top 10 receivers in the country that you're throwing your hat in the ring for. We'll see how fruitful this class may be for Brian Kelly, for Cortez Hankton, and the rest of the LSU Tigers. It is Locked on LSU. Man, I'm so thrilled to tell you about our friends over at eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. That's the formula for winning championships. It's also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number 1 ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. Of course, we appreciate our friends at eBay Motors so much. And, of course, also, before we get to our interview with DJ Primeaux, I do have to remind you about FanDuel. Man, the Olympics started, so we get a little reprieve from a lull. But you know, NFL preseason starts next week, y'all. We are upon it. It is upon us, I should say. And I love sports. I love them so much, and I never want them to stop. But, of course, when you move through June and the playoffs wind down, we get fewer games. The sports aren't sporting like we want them to. But FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I got to do, open the app and dream up bets anytime that I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus every single day all summer long. So head over to FanDuel.com and start making the most out of your summer. I cannot stress this enough. If you've been in the game, if you're new to sports betting, take advantage of those boosts and bonus every single day. It makes no sense not to use them. I'm looking at right now, 30% profit boost on MLB same game parlay. Check it out right there. 30% profit boost on U.S. teams in the Olympics. Check out those profit boosts and those bonuses right there at the top of the app. When you open up the FanDuel app, you go to FanDuel.com. FanDuel.com, an official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. So LSU baseball obviously has had one heck of a June. Now, the season ended. I hate to say in glorious fashion. It's not how we all anticipated it would, but what we have seen since LSU season ended after blowing a ninth inning lead in the regional final against North Carolina is Jay Johnson go to work. And yes, 14 LSU Tigers hit the transfer portal, but Jay Johnson and his staff added 10 players via the portal, and you got Bear Jones back. Michael Braswell returns as well. Man, you got William Schmidt to campus, and we talked about it earlier this week. Baseball America has tabbed LSU. It's way too early. Number one team in America. And D1 Baseball on Friday announced their top 250 prospects their top 100 prospects for next summer's draft. LSU has 7 in the top 100. Oh, yeah. Times are good for Jay Johnson as he's building toward 2025. And DJ Primeaux is a name we haven't talked a bunch about. From nearby Central, redshirted his freshman year in Baton Rouge, only 3 2/3 innings this past year for the Tigers for DJ Primeaux. But he's up at Cape Cod this summer, and he is dominating some of the best collegiate hitters in the best wooden bat league. And so we had a chance to catch up with DJ Primeaux on my radio show after further review. And I started by asking DJ Primeaux exactly what is working so well for him this summer in the Cape.
Yeah, I think, I always had the great stuff and the right profiles of my pitches, but I think the biggest thing I've been able to do here is just command the baseball better and be able to read hitters. I think one of the great things that we've been able to do over here is call our own games. And so we're able to, be able to read hitters and make adjustments. And I think overall it helps you become a better pitcher.
That's fascinating. So obviously Coach Yeski's calling pitches for you here in Baton Rouge, but would you like that opportunity to, I guess it's just on a personal level, would you like the opportunity to call your own game there at LSU if you had the opportunity?
The Cape and LSU are two different places for sure. I mean, at LSU, we have unlimited access to all the correct scouting reports and analytics and everything. They do a great job over there. So, I fully trust whatever they call at LSU. Just here, I'm trying to get better and, learn for myself. I feel like that has really been a big part of my success. And I think I'll be able to bring that over to LSU and be able to connect with Coach Yeski and be able to come up with a good plan to attack hitters.
Did you call your own games in high school?
Sort of. I would take what the coach said, and then, if we would, talk about it, might shake here or there, but for the most part.
Have you ever gotten a coach mad at you when you shook him off?
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, give me a story. I got to get one that comes to mind.
Okay, so we had, I guess here they did call pitches. They call pitches in certain moments in the game where, if the matchup is correct or the numbers match up, they'll call a certain pitch if, it matches up against the hitter well. Well, sometimes you don't do that and it comes back to bite you. So that's happened a few times, but, it's part of learning.
No doubt, man. It's interesting, too, whenever you were talking about what's worked so well for you there in the Cape, I thought you were going to say it's really just been the opportunity to get innings. I mean, you redshirted on the championship team, and then, obviously this last year, 3 2/3 innings pitched over the course of the season. Last year was odd. You're a lefty, and you had 9 lefties on the staff last year. It's just an outlier to have that many. How much of it is that DJ's just having the opportunity to get innings this summer?
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, it was, this year was great. I definitely think I need to improve after where I was in the season. I feel like I was in a good spot, but there's always room for improvement. So yeah, definitely being able to get innings has contributed to it. But it's not all about getting the innings. It's what you do with those innings and the stuff you work on. So that's really what I focused on.
DJ Primeaux is our guest, LSU lefty, of course, from nearby Central, up with the Brewster Whitecaps in the Cape this summer. He's tearing it up. When you left LSU for the summer, what was that conversation, your exit interview? What was that conversation like with Jay Johnson?
Yeah, it was very good, very enlightening. He explained that I have a great future here, and that going to where I am now is really big for my career, and that I should just take advantage of it and enjoy every moment and become a better pitcher so I can arrive back later this fall in a better spot.
Yeah, I would assume as a kid you grew up a big LSU fan, being from the area, right?
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah. So I mean, that's like if it's you, or I mean, obviously you have the opportunity to play, but as a kid playing ball, of course, everybody wants to play for LSU. Did but you go 2 years and you saw 14 teammates hit the portal this year. Like, did you consider leaving at all?
No.
Yeah.
No, sir. I feel like I made a commitment to this university, so I feel like this place means a lot to me, and I want to, represent the state of Louisiana in a great way. So I want to stay put and figure myself out and become the best I can.
Well, there's only 4 lefties on the roster for next season, so obviously you're going to have to take on an increased role. Have you thought about what you'd like that role to be in 2025?
Yeah, I've been able to, being here and stuff, I think I've gotten a good idea. I mean, I would definitely like to extend more, instead of having those 1 or 2 hitters, possibly have 1 or 2 innings, maybe 3, 4, depending on the situation of the game. And, I'm really just going to do whatever the coach needs me to do at the end of the day.
How do you think, DJ, that – I mean, obviously you've talked about it a little bit, but in what ways do you think physically you've improved from when you showed up on campus to now? Meaning, like, have you seen – is it velo? Is it spin rate? Is it command? Like, what are the ways that you feel like you have physically improved from when you showed up on campus to now?
It's every single aspect of pitching, the mental game, anything you could think of that has to do with baseball. I feel like I've gotten better since I've been here, and they're doing something very special. And I think if I stick to the course and do what I need to do, good things will happen.
We appreciate LSU Rising Junior DJ Primeaux for taking a couple of minutes with us, and certainly continue watching how the LSU Baseball Tigers continue to progress over the course of this summer and into fall. Hey, we appreciate you so much for being here with us. Thanks for making us your first listen. And of course, we always encourage you to stay with our Locked On family. If you're an LSU fan, of course you are. Great time to check out Locked On USC and Locked On UCLA. Make that your second listen, as LSU is going to play those 2 Big Ten schools this year. Of course, opening up with the Trojans. Great time to catch up. You know what they say, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. If you want to know the foe, make sure you're checking out Locked On USC and Locked On UCLA, with Big Ten Media Days now just in the rearview mirror. All right, that'll do it for us here. Please subscribe up on your favorite podcast app. Rate us, leave a review. If you're on YouTube, smash that like button and hit the bell to be notified whenever we go live. Until next time, it is Locked On LSU, your team every day.